Before we jump in, think about this. How did a little-known protest single from 1973 end up shaping the sound of hip-hop for decades to come? Why did one simple drum intro become one of the most sampled drum breaks in all of music? And what does this song's strange journey from a political call-out to a producer's secret weapon reveal about how sampling changed popular music forever? Stick around, and by the end of this video, you'll have those answers. If you've listened to hip-hop, R&B, or even pop music for that matter, in the past 40 years, you've almost certainly heard the intro drum break to the song Impeach the President by the Honey Drippers. This joint right here. Ladies and gentlemen. Written and produced by Roy Charles Hammond, but better known to us crate diggers as Roy C. The record was released during Watergate as a protest song, but its afterlife would change modern music production forever. Let's get into it. Roy C. released Impeach the President by the Honey Drippers on Alaga Records in 1973. On the surface, it was a funk protest song aimed at Richard Nixon, but the song's tight, roomy drum break is what made producers sit up and take notice. The performance and production were straightforward, but the pocket and tone of that drum break, there was something special. A nice snare, open locked-in groove, perfect for looping, chopping, or even cutting up. Now, producers and DJs in the early 80s was already looping up drum breaks live. But when digital samplers became affordable and samplers started popping up in all the studios, one drum intro became the go-to blueprint. By the mid-80s, and especially during hip-hop's golden era, the Impeach the President break was being lifted and recontextualized across dozens and now hundreds of records. It's consistently listed among the most sampled drum breaks, not just for hip-hop, but for all of music. Many hip-hop historians point to Marley Marl's mid-1980s experiments as a turning point. He was among the first producers to sample and chop up the individual drum sounds as opposed to merely letting a long drum break loop. And he used Impeach the President as source material for many projects, most famously in the MC Shan Juice Crew era. That approach, chopping a break into discrete hits and rearranging and chopping it up, opened the doors for the dense, layered beat making that follows in hip-hop. In 1986, legendary record diggers Breakbeat Lenny and Breakbeat Lou would make the ultra-rare break available for the first time to the masses by releasing it on their extremely important compilation series, Ultimate Breaks and Beats, on Street Beat Records. After that, it was on. If you'd like me to do a deep dive on Ultimate Breaks and Beats, let me know down in the comments. By this point, you started to hear the break reappear in foundational hip-hop records all over. A few notable examples: Audio 2's 1987 classic Top Billin'.
Check it out. MCMI, people call me Milk. When I'm busting up a party, I feel no guilt.
Everyone who is anyone has used this break, from producers such as Marley Marl, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Paul C., DJ Premier, Pete Rock, Prince Paul, Shock G of Digital Underground, Butterfly from Diggable Planets, all the way up to J. Cole. And that's not even scratching the surface. It's literally hundreds more. And later, the individual chops of the kick and snare still to this day pop up in countless tracks and even ad campaigns. Producers loved it because of the perfect punch of its simple groove makes rhyming to it feel effortless. Technically, the break sits in this sweet spot. Open sounding kick, audible room, snare with a mid-range snap, and just enough swing to give MCs a natural cadence. That makes it easy to loop, chop, quantize, or flip, and easy to rap over. Even Dougie Fresh replicated it, of course in beatbox form, in him and Slick Rick, then known as MC Ricky D's, 1985 classic, Lottie Dottie.
You know what? Yo, peep this, Lottie Dottie. We like to party. We don't cause trouble. We don't bother nobody. We're just some.
For producers building beats with limited resources, it was a gold mine. Timeless groove plus flexibility equals instant classic. Music historians and sample resource encyclopedias repeatedly rank it high amongst breakbeats for this reason. With popularity came disputes. By the early 90s, the economics and legality of sampling was a battleground. Small labels and copyright holders began asserting control and pressing for licensing or suing when large artists used these breaks without clearance. Impeach the President was central to some of those cases and licensing conversations. A sign that a teeny funk single had become a valuable intellectual property in the digital era. The battles over samples reshaped how hip-hop was made and how music rights were managed. The Honey Drippers break didn't only impact rap, it rippled across R&B, pop, and electronica. Producers borrowing the feel, reusing the hits, or interpolating the pocket into new contexts. Let me know down in the comments what's your favorite use of Honey Drippers' Impeach the President. Because sampling is a dialogue with past recordings, the break served as a musical touchstone across genres, a shared language of rhythm. That reach helped legitimize sampling as a creative practice, connected generations of musicians to a handful of great grooves from the 1960s, 1970s, and now even the 1980s. However, let's not forget the song's original purpose. Roy C. wrote a protest song. Its title and chorus are a direct response to Watergate and the political climate of 1973. Funny, well, at least to me. Little side note, Impeach the President was originally released on 45 only. Donald Trump was the 45th President of the United States. 45, Impeach the President. That's kind of funny to me, I think. That political edge gave the record an immediate context, but it was the simple opening 2-bar drum break at the beginning, not the lyrics, that traveled right into hip-hop's production DNA. Still, the track's dual life, political statement plus rhythmic treasure equals fascinating cultural twist. 40 plus years after Impeach the President made its impact on hip-hop culture, it still remains a major building block of beat culture. It taught generations of producers how to listen for a break, how small sonic choices can define a genre, and how sampling can transform an obscure record into something foundational. Even the legal and cultural frameworks changed. The groove kept showing up, because great rhythm tends to outlast formats, lawsuits, and trends. From a protest single in 1973 to the backbone of countless hip-hop beats, that's the strange, brilliant afterlife of Roy C's Impeach the President. And if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. It really goes a long way, especially for us small channels. Thank you for watching. Salute.